What is going on, fellow student anglers, and welcome to another episode of Student Angling. Thanks for tagging along on this ride. The reason I'm doing this inside right now is because I totally forgot to film an intro for today's video. Anyways, just so you're aware, I don't catch any fish in this video. There's some cool action, but I don't catch any fish. However, I would stick around because there's something kind of interesting that happens that kind of was a little bit of a curveball that was thrown into my day. So stick around for an exciting episode. There's some tips, and then there's a little bit of adventure too. So stay tuned. All right, so basically what we got here is a chatterbait. This is gonna be a long shot, but I want to try it anyways. Then we got a little jig, which I think is gonna be the juice today. And last but not least, a netted rig, which is just always a good backup plan. And it's good to have one tied on. All right, so we got the Shimano Scorpion, old reel, but awesome reel. Then we got the fake chrome, and I'm throwing a chatterbait. It's kind of in a bluegill color with that chartreuse and what is that? Just blue, brown. It's kind of an array of colors, but if you see bluegill, you'll know that like a lot of times they'll have really extravagant colors. So I'm trying to imitate here. I don't know. I don't have a lot of. My hopes aren't high for this bait. That's what I'll say first of all. But I'm just gonna let it sink down, and I'm just gonna do a slow retrieve back and see what happens. I'm only gonna give this a few casts, but who knows? It's got a lot of thump. This chatterbait is. I mean, all chatterbaits have thump, obviously, but this one's tons of vibration, so that's cool. Maybe call them in, but then again, it's not very subtle, and you kind of want subtle this time of year. But yeah, as I said, we'll see. This is the deepest part of the place, of the little pond, I think. I think this is, actually I don't think, I know this is a dam, because you can see, like over there's a little bit of a bridge that goes down and then it feeds into a creek. This whole thing is just a dammed creek, or I wouldn't even call it a creek, just a tiny little stream. So yeah, but I know I've seen fish caught out of here, so you never know. Thought I'd just give it a try. Might toss a jig around some of these walls. Say whenever you're fishing any sort of blade bait or any sort of like, mainly chatterbaits and spinner baits, is don't just reel it straight in, but give it a couple twitches, pause it, make it look like it's running away for something, getting tired, stopping, like it's injured. And it'll just appeal to those bass a lot more. And it just looks like an easier meal. So definitely don't just reel it straight in. Give it a couple pops, just like that. Stop it, speed it up a little bit, and then let it sink. Just mix it up. Don't just do this steady retrieves. I see a lot of guys doing that. And I mean, I remember watching a KVD video years ago where he talked about he almost catches no fish when he just reels it. That was a terrible cast. But he almost catches no fish when he just reels it in straight. And he's arguably the best in the world, or was at that time. So yeah, give it some pops, give it some stops, and just see what happens. I'm gonna put the chatterbait down. Let's pick up this jig. Okay, so with the jig, it's just a black and blue jig because this water is pretty stained, but it's a black and blue jig with a I think this is the Okeechobee craw color in the Guggen Baits, what's it called, bandito bug. So it's kind of a natural color on one side, and then it's a blue on the other side. So it's a good mix up, and we'll see what happens. That was a terrible cast. I suck. I got 20-pound fluorocarbon on here, which is overkill, I know, for a lake or a pond this size, but it's just what I like to use for this rod and this reel for jigs. So let's try it out. As you can see, I threw it over to a little bit of an outcropping over there. I'll get closer in a second. But it's a little bit of an outcropping along this wall. And sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the times bass will really, really hold like any sort of change in structure around them. If you got a flat wall and you just have a little bit of an outcropping there, cast at it, and the chance of you getting a bite go up like exponentially. I don't know what it is about it, but bass, it doesn't even have to cover them. If there's a little like obscurity in any sort of the cover, throw it at it. And oh my god, did you see that? Oh, I'm shook. Little bass just chased this thing. You what the heck? How does it? That's just not cool. Like, bite my bait, dude. Oh, well, now we know there's fish in here, so that's good, I guess. Just be nice if they decide to bite my bait when it's like, I don't know, that was annoying. We'll just pitch it right back in there. And as you can, I am so skilled. I have so much skill. Okay, so another thing I just thought of is when you're fishing a jig like I am right now, don't bring your rod tip like past, I don't know, like 80 degrees. Because when you do that, you have literally no leverage to set the hook. So like, say if I'm holding the rod and, okay, I'm like here, I have to reel all the way back down that fish, then set the hook. But if I only bring the jig up to say here, then I just set into them and I don't lose any time. So that's just one thing that I definitely encourage you to do. Don't bring the rod tip up so far. Just bring it up, then reel down and move it again. Because if you, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but if there's always a chance that fish drops it. So if you can just be there and be ready to set the hook, then the chances are you're gonna hook that fish instead of missing it because he dropped it or whatever. Okay, as much as I want to stay here and try to catch this one tiny bass who probably wasn't even over a pound, we are going to move and go over to the other side of the lake. There's like a little wood piling, definitely not a wood piling. There's like a little dock and kind of like a path that's built up. So I'm gonna go over there and try to fish that and see what happens. I'm fishing this on my Bionic blade, 7-foot medium heavy, and then it's got the Carbon Light, the Giant Morris Carbon Light 2.0 on it, which is a 6-2, oh, not 6-2 to 1, that's a 6-8 to 1 reel, which is kind of a unique gear ratio, kind of cool. But yeah, and as I said earlier, I got 20-pound 20-pound fluoro on here, which I usually use this for flipping, but I didn't really have anything else to throw a jig on with me at school, so that's what I'm doing. This pond I'm fishing at is literally like right next to the University of Cincinnati campus, like literally across the street. So it's in the middle of a city. The chances of me getting mugged here are like probably like 1 in 5. There's a 1 in 5 chance if I had to estimate. But hopefully I can just beat them off with this rod. I'm pretty confident about that. Like, I played with sticks in the woods when I was a kid. I can do it, yeah. Or I can just hook him. Like, that would be really painful. That felt like a fish. If it was a fish, he's gone now. Felt like a little bit of a thump. I got a quick little secret for you guys. A lot of the times when these like YouTube anglers and stuff think they get a hit and they do like this big old swing and a miss and they're like, oh, I had one, I didn't get him. Kind of a secret is that most of the time it probably wasn't a bass and instead was either a log or a bluegill, because they miss a lot of fish. And you miss fish obviously, but you don't miss that many fish if they're legit bites. But 100% a bluegill does feel like a bass when it bites. A quick little tap, that's gonna feel like a fish, obviously, but they're not gonna get it in their mouth, and therefore you're going to miss, or quote unquote, miss a bass. Hey, quick little tip, guys. If you go to the Instagram.com app, which looks like that one right there, and you just go on there, and you click on it, and then you go to your search page, and then you just type in Ben Autry, which is actually my name, which is pretty cool. If you click on that, boom, that's my Instagram page, and I post pictures on there like that. That's pretty cool. So if you want to follow that, I would much appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, that's that. But we're going down these stairs to this little dock, and I'll see you when I'm down. Okay, so let's just document what happened. So basically, I went to pull it, and the anti-reverse just totally just pooped out on me. And now I have like no, like, I don't know what happened. And now, like, that is a backlash beyond, like, there's no coming back from this backlash. Like that is awful. And I'm already not catching fish, and this really just makes me even more mad. Because, like, I paid money for this reel, and then this happens. And it's like a reverse backlash. I don't even know how to... So anyways, what we're going to do... Let's see. What time is it? It's 3:07. Bass Pro Shops is still open. We're gonna take it back there, tell them what happened, and then hopefully they'll do something to fix it. Oh, what a great day. All right, so we didn't catch a fish today, but now we get to go on an adventure, so let's go. Okay, another quick tip, because I get pissed when I see this. If you lose a lot of line, don't just throw it in the water or throw it off to the side in the trail. Pick it up. Because of that backlash, I had to get rid of a lot of line. But I'm not just gonna leave it here, because then it gets in other fishermen's way, and then birds eat it, and then birds die, and it's really just not good. So pick it up, please, and I guarantee you everything will be much better. And I dropped my rod, but anyways, you get the point. You see what I'm doing here? I have the line. The trash, not the grass or the flower beds. Who the frick is smoking out here? That is disgusting. Now we'll just do one of these. I'm hating on this reel right now because it really just ruined my day. But I will say, I do love this rod. It's lasted me like 3 years, and I have no complaints. So shout out to Bass Pro Shops on rod durability. But this reel situation, I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, so if you didn't really understand what happened, so basically I was at the pond trying to catch some bass, and I went to go just pull my lure, and the anti-reverse, which is basically what stops the handle from just spinning wildly backwards, just totally gave out and just made the reel spin like crazy, causing this crazy backlash. And I know how to work on reels. I know how to replace parts. I've done it before, but that shouldn't happen. This is a $140, $130 reel, something like that. That just shouldn't be an issue. So it's really frustrating. So I'm at Bass Pro, and what I'm gonna try to do is try to get it replaced. And I don't see why they wouldn't replace it. They make millions of dollars every year. So hopefully they're sensible about it and they give me some sort of replacement. If not, that's gonna be really frustrating, but we're here and let's give it a shot. Okay, we are back, and actually I'm kind of surprised, but they gave us a brand new reel, so we're good to go. Kind of sucks still though, because it kind of ruined a trip, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I appreciate their help. And yeah, so honestly, that's gonna wrap up the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't catch any fish. You got to see a fish though. If you really look close, you can see that fish chase my lure. But hopefully when it starts warming up again, we'll start catching some fish. I appreciate you watching anyways, and as always, please like, comment, and maybe even subscribe. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and as always, fish hard, learn more.